Hello everybody, Daryl T. Dixon coming at you here on Thursday of this week, and we got some breaking news today. It's from Norristown, Pennsylvania, and it looks like Bill Cosby in his retrial for sexual assault against Lily Bernard has been found guilty on 3 counts. And what that means is a jury of 12 found him unanimously guilty of sexually assaulting. And I think it was alleged, although I don't know all the facts, it's been alleged that he was giving these victims, in particular Miss Bernard, drugs and then having sex with them. So it looks like there was a mistrial last year in which, the jury was hung. They couldn't get to a verdict. So what happens there is the judge orders a mistrial. And so then it's been going on for the last week or so here up in Norristown, Pennsylvania. And it looks like they're already having conferences, and Gloria Allred I think she's the civil attorney for all the victims. And hey, Steve, and I think that they're already having a press conference, and they're calling this a monumental victory for the Me Too movement. So it's breaking news today. Again, Bill Cosby has been found guilty on 3 counts of sexual assault against Lily Bernard up in Norristown, Pennsylvania. Now, what does this mean for Mr. Cosby? It means that he will be released right now, and then he'll be brought back for a sentencing. The maximum sentence he can face is 10 years on each count. So he's 80 years old. He could potentially, hey Morris, he potentially could serve 30 years. At 80 years old and having done some criminal defense in my past, I don't think he'll get all 30 years, but and you don't know the judge. It's ultimately up to the judge. A lot of people can make a prediction about what'll happen, and they can try. Obviously Cosby's lawyer is going to ask for the minimum. They're going to look for things that happened in their trial so that maybe they can do an appeal. And the other side is going to ask for the absolute maximum, because what's coming behind this for the victims, and it's not just Miss Bernard, it's some other, I think there's maybe 6 or 7 that were at the press conference today. And they're going to be filing, if they haven't already, going to be filing a civil case for money damages against Mr. Cosby. And so just to let you know, in a criminal case, the burden of proof is called beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's a high standard. That means there's the evidence has to be so overwhelming, not 100%, but I would say maybe 97%, in a criminal trial, the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. On the other hand, in a civil case, which they will surely file now, as they're showing pictures of Mr. Cosby after the verdict was read, in a civil trial, the burden is it's 51-49. I mean, it just takes a feather of evidence on one side or the other to tip the scales of justice. So just not near as much a burden of proof. And now that they've got a guilty verdict in this case, I think yes, agreed. We'll get into that another time, because it's a tough thing to pronounce, and a tough. We're talking about res judicata for this victim in this case. And we can get into talking about that later, because it's a lot more difficult to understand. Today, we're just talking about Bill Cosby found guilty on all counts, 3 counts, possible sentence of 30 years. It's breaking news right now. He will remain, like I said, on bail, awaiting his sentence. It's a $1 million bail. And as long as it's based on whether or not the court finds that he's a flight risk. And so Mr. Cosby he'll be free until the sentencing. And I'm not sure, I don't think they've quite, or maybe they did, and I just didn't see it announced the day for the sentencing. So once again, Bill Cosby guilty on all 3 counts. It was a retrial of a hung jury from last year, 3 counts of sexual assault. Big win for his accusers. Obviously, huge loss for Mr. Cosby, and surely there's going to be more civil lawsuits to follow. Daily Daryl with some breaking news. Hope everybody's having a great week.